Alexander Volkanovski is an Australian featherweight who has absolutely mauled everyone the UFC has thrown at him. He is 18-1 overall with 5 dominating victories in the UFC so far. First fight here, the Aussie has Yusuke Kasuya clinched up. He gets the outside reap and forces Kasuya down, feeding him a knee in the process. Still on top in the first, Volkanovski finds the opening to rain down heavy shots. You can see the physical pressure sapping Kasuya's cardio. At the end of the first round, Kasuya is barely holding on. Volkanovski reeling off strikes, but the bell saves him, and the ref ends the round. Second round now, Volkanovski has his opponent's limbs all wrapped up, and has free rein on Kasuya's chin. The ref has to stop this brutal beatdown. Alexander the Great overcame early jitters in his first UFC fight to thoroughly dominate his opponent. Outside of the UFC, Volkanovski had never faced a man with a losing record, and the experience paid off here in the octagon. Next up, Mizuto Hirota, who hadn't lost in 4 years before this fight. A minute into the first, Volkanovski has him pinned against the cage. As they disengage, Volkanovski fires a quick right that floors Hirota. The ref thought long and hard about stopping it, but Volkanovski can't put him away in the opening frame. Later in the first, Hirota battling on the cage against Volkanovski as he slips in the spinning elbow to the chin as they disengage. Here's that elbow again from another angle. Second round now, more of the same. Volkanovski lands another spinning elbow that sits Hirota on the canvas momentarily. Third round was more of the same story. The Aussie Volkanovski dominating his opponent in all facets. Hirota wasn't able to dictate the pace and wound up getting grounded and pounded for 15 minutes. Alexander the Great moves to 15-1 with 2 impressive wins in the UFC. Next up, 11-3 Shane Young, and Alex lands a knee to the face in the early going. Young tries to reverse, but Volkanovski is too strong, and outside trips Young's leg to gain back control. Round 2 now, Volkanovski lands the right hook. Young attempts the takedown, but he says not today and keeps walking him down. He wraps him up and takes him for a ride. The side slam Alexander Karelin style into back control. Later in the second, he slams him again. Ruthless power as Volkanovski is having a field day in the cage. Round 3 now, Alexander the Great continues the dominance with another leg trip to takedown, then walking Young down to deliver this brutal elbow across the chin. A few more highlights throughout from a unanimous decision drubbing at the hands of 16-1 Alexander Volkanovski. Looking for the 4-fight UFC win streak against undefeated Jeremy Kennedy, Volkanovski controlling on the mat in the first and raining down lefts. A minute later, still in control and still throwing bombs from the top, Kennedy tries up-kicking, but the Aussie gives him no room to breathe. First round replay, we see a right from full guard that landed flush, then followed up with some power punches. Second round now, Kennedy desperate for the single leg takedown, but Volkanovski gets the underhook with the left for the whizzer reverse and pressures Kennedy up into the cage with enough room to land some strikes. Still second round, still Volkanovski dominating. He's relentless with the pressure from half guard, punches and elbows raining down on Kennedy. End of the second, Volkanovski pouring it on, trying to get it done before the bell sounds. Kennedy eating punches and not intelligently defending. The ref is forced to step in with just 3 seconds left. Jeremy Kennedy was a big prospect coming into the fight, touted for his ground game. He secured 21 takedowns in only 3 UFC fights before getting 0 against Alexander the Great. Volkanovski astonishingly outlanded his opponent 73-8 and gets the TKO win, his second finish on the ground in the UFC and his 17th victory overall. July of this year, Volkanovski faced 10th ranked 25-5 Darren the Damage Elkins, who is known for that zombie chin. He's almost impossible to knock out and just keeps coming forward. Early first round, the damage pressuring with back-to-back combos. Volkanovski stuffs the takedown, then they scramble for top position. Volkanovski works towards the standing guillotine, but Elkins tries to slam his way out. Finally, he gets the head out of danger and tries to go to half guard, but Volkanovski reverses, gets back to his feet, and pressures Elkins into the fence. A minute left in round 1, Volkanovski lands the overhand right, dropping Elkins on the canvas. Goes for the guillotine, but it might have been a better decision to ground and pound there. Elkins recovers enough to fight off Volkanovski's ground game, but eats a few power punches getting back up. Elkins visibly shaken after that exchange. End of round 1 now. Volkanovski on the offensive, circling left and landing another huge overhand right, dropping Elkins for the second time. Again, he tries the standing guillotine, but runs out of time as Elkins barely survives round 1. Here we see the 2 knockdowns again. Elkins has only been KO'd once in the UFC, and it might take a punch from Andre the Giant to finish this guy. Into round 2, Elkins comes forward with a combo, and Volkanovski ducks under, countering with the right hook clean that wobbles Elkins. He's smart to not get over aggressive and try to finish the damage though. A minute to go in round 2, Volkanovski continuing to find a home for that overhand right. He moves back in with a stiff left jab, followed by the right cross. Following the clinch exchange, Elkins looks like jello after that quick combo. Round 3, the Aussie right back at it. A big left, but Elkins stays up. A quick combo to follow, but you just can't put this guy away. 3 minutes to go, Volkanovski has his opponent wrapped up at the hips. He picks up Elkins and slams him down. Elkins gets back to his feet as Volkanovski gets him with a left. They go back into the clinch. Last seconds of the fight, both fighters putting it on the line as they swing for the fences. Volkanovski catches him with the right left, then gets out of dodge because he knows he has another unanimous decision victory under the belt. Alexander Volkanovski packs a ton of power into his 145-pound frame. His all-around game is going to cause major problems for the featherweight division in the future. Look for Volkanovski to fight once more in 2018, possibly at home in Adelaide in December, hopefully alongside the legend Daniel Kelly.